All right. Welcome, everybody, to how to get found online without spending thousands for SEO. For those of you that I don't know and haven't met before, my name's Ted Yates. I'm a business coach. I specialize in showing small and independent business owners how to beat the big guys, no matter how competitive your market is, even if they've got more fame and money than you do to spend on advertising. To that end, I wanted to share a little bit today about this topic, which is probably one that I get more questions about than anything else. And that is, how do you get found online? How do I get to the top of the Google rankings without spending a whole bunch of money on SEO? And I want to start before I get to like the real content here with a little bit of a warning. I learned a long time ago, like everything good in life comes with a warning attached to it. Maybe not everything, but lots of things. And so here's my warning, okay? This presentation is going to be blunt, it's going to be straightforward, and it's going to be brutally honest, okay? Some of you signed up for this from an email I sent out that said SEO is a scam. That was the subject line. And so there's a little bit of potential here, I know, to probably hurt some people's feelings or offend some people, or maybe even make some people mad. So if you happen to be one of those people, just consider yourself warned, okay? I'm a little bit passionate about this subject because of something that actually happened to me and a friend of mine a couple months ago. His name is David. He owns a local trades business here in Tampa. I won't tell you exactly what kind of trades business because I want him to be anonymous. And he came up to me. He knew I did a lot of work with helping small businesses get found online, make more money, get more customers. And he told me, I'm working with this company and they are charging me $3,000 a month for SEO and Google stuff. That's how he put it, Google stuff. And I have no idea what I'm getting for that $3,000. And so I gave him some questions to ask the company, not the least of which was, hey, can you tell me how much business you're getting me for this $3,000 a month that I'm paying you? And the long story short is that there was absolutely no accountability whatsoever. There was no way for them to say to him, hey, this is how much business we've been able to get you, or this is how it's helped your business in any way at all. At the end of the day, he was ultimately wasting several $1,000s every single month on the idea of SEO and these promises that he would get to the top of Google rankings to get all this business, and it wasn't happening. And that's just one person. I know other business owners who have paid $500, $1,000, or $2,000 a month for SEO, and they also have absolutely no idea what they're getting for that money. And if they ask the company, how many customers is this getting me? How many people called my business because of this? They got the runaround. And the reason why they got the runaround is because there's no answer to that question. There's no way to know, but I can tell you that number is pretty close to zero for most businesses. Okay. The idea of SEO, if you're unfamiliar with it, stands for search engine optimization. And it's the basic concept is that if you put the right words and tags and descriptions on your website, you can rank higher on Google. Now, the SEO companies will never tell you what those things actually are. Or if they do, they'll use buzzwords to try to like keep the smoke and mirror concept up there. But just thinking about the concept of paying for SEO, it defies logic for a couple of reasons. Number one, if it worked, it could really only work for one or two businesses in a given market or industry, right? There's no way for everybody to be number one. And number two, it defies how Google actually works. Google's stated objective is to try to deliver the very best result to somebody for what it is that they're searching for, not the result that hacked the algorithm the best or used the right keywords stuffed all over the website or anything like that. They want to deliver the best result for the search. So that's our goal. How do we become the best result for what your ideal customer is searching for? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And I'm going to share with you a couple real life examples of business owners just like you, including a grandmother in Nashville who's mostly retired selling honey. I'm going to show you how they did it and how you can do it too. Okay? First things first, if you want to get found online and actually get customers from that, there are two things you've got to focus on when it comes to your website. Number one is what we call traffic, okay? That's people finding your website. Number two is conversion, okay? That's people taking action. Doesn't do you any good if you get 1 million people to visit your website and nobody calls you on the phone or fills out your form or buys your thing, right? So that's why conversion's important. And you've got to have a plan and a strategy for both of these things, okay? We're only going to talk a little bit about conversion today. We're going to mainly focus on traffic. How do you get found and get people to your website, okay? There are two types of traffic. We're breaking this down to basic levels here, okay? Number one is paid, okay? These are things like ads, pay-per-click advertising. You can run YouTube, Facebook, Meta. There's a whole range of different online ads you can run, or you can even run offline ads that direct people to your website. That counts as paid traffic as well. The second type is organic, and this is non-paid or what we might call earned traffic to your website, okay? And I'm going to show you what this actually looks like. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. I'm going to actually pull up Google in real time. I'll show you what this looks like in case you've never seen it before. All right, so here you see a search. I searched for plumber near me. Give me a thumbs up or a one in the chat if you can see that. Searched for plumber near me, okay? And it automatically knows where I am. I'm in Westwood Lakes. That's my subdivision, Keystone in Tampa here, okay? And you're going to get several different types of results in here, okay? Now, this is a trade, so you actually get a Google guaranteed result, which we're not going to go in depth in, but anywhere where it says sponsored, that's a paid ad, okay? So these guys, Continental Plumbing, Cornerstone Pros, they paid money to Google to be in this top spot up here, okay? Right below that, there's another paid listing, marked sponsored, okay? The Comfort Authority paid money to be here. Below that, you've got what we would call the location or Google Maps listing, okay? And that starts off with another sponsored listing. These people paid money to be here. Sometimes the sponsored one is here at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom, but there's always one in the Maps listing too. And now you have these three guys. There's no sponsored here. So these are the first organic results that are coming up in this search of plumber near me, okay? So if I'm looking for a plumber sitting at home, I'm going to get these ads for these guys, and then I'm going to get organic traffic below that. If you keep scrolling, then you get people also ask, and now you get more organic results down here, okay? So obviously, ideally, if you can afford it, you want to pay to be up here near the top. But that's not feasible for a lot of businesses, especially if you're in really highly competitive industries with high ad costs. So think like real estate agents, right? Those are really expensive ads. Or law firms, personal injury attorneys, that's really expensive ad spots. So those types of businesses and many of the trades businesses as well, you're going to find your greatest results are going to come from organic advertising or organic search results. Oh, let me catch back up on my slides here. Okay. So how do you drive organic placement? There's 4 main things that determine how you rank on Google and other search engines. And the good news is you control all of these. Okay, number 1 is your Google business profile. And if you're not sure what that is, I'm going to show you what that is in just a second. Number 2 is frequent updates to your website. Well, I'll tell you exactly why that's important here in a minute. Okay. Number 3 is high quality content on your website. I'm going to show you some examples of how to get that. And then number 4 is what we call backlinks. And that is a technical term. I don't like to use technical terms a whole lot. Here's how you can think of backlinks. They're like online votes of confidence. They're just where other websites, good websites, have linked to your website, okay? Now, there are other things that do matter, okay? There are some technical aspects of SEO that matter. However, for the vast majority of small businesses out there, these are not a major concern like they were 10 or 20 years ago, okay? And that's because of the way most websites are built by default today, okay? Most small business owners out there either used a highly reputable platform to build their website on that's going to help you uh, handle all those SEO technical aspects, or you paid somebody who knows what they're doing and they built your website the right way to begin with, okay? SEO companies want you to think that you need them and you need their ongoing monthly services to take care of all those little technical things. But for 99% of small business owners out there, 99% of websites, you are fine in that area. And if you are part of the 1% that needs to be fixed, it can be fixed quickly. You don't have to pay ongoing tons and tons of money for this, okay? These are the four things that you have control over and that really, really matter. So let's talk about each one of them, okay? First, your Google business profile, okay? This is how Google knows who you are, what you do, and whether or not you're open, okay? And this is the single biggest factor in search results on Google, okay? In fact, data shows that it makes up about 28% of your ranking, and that's more than anything else, okay? Really good news, it's free and you can do it yourself, okay? And I'm going to show you now exactly how you do that. Let me share my screen here again. All right, give me a thumbs up or a one in the chat if you can see my screen. We're still in the plumber with me, or plumber near me thing here. So if you just go to my business in Google, go to my business. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me do this. Let me open an incognito window so it doesn't go to my actual business right now. So if this was you and you were not even logged into Google, you could type in my business or even Google business profile. And you're going to see that result right up near the top somewhere. It'll say Google business profile, get listed on Google. Okay, you click on that. And now it's going to ask you to sign into Google or click start now. Okay, and it'll walk you through the process of setting up your Google business profile. And I'm going to go to my business now, and I'll show you what this looks like, okay? If you have already claimed your business profile, then when you Google my business, it's going to come up like mine did. It's going to show you all of these different things for your business. And you'll see over on the right, this is very recognizable to most of us. This is what it looks like on Google Maps, right? Your Google Maps listing, okay? And this is where you edit it, okay? You can click Edit Profile, and you can make all the updates you need to about your business, your category, your description, and you can add, this is new, if you haven't updated this in the last year or so, you can add social profiles, it's relatively new. Hours of operation, this is really important because don't think about necessarily when you're actually open, especially if you are like a service-based business of some sort. Think about when people might call you or need your services, okay? There's a ton of Google searches out there for things like real estate agent, financial advisor, other personal services and things like that that happen after dinner or like after kids go to bed, right? And if your open hours are like mine are listed here 9 to 5 and somebody's searching at 6 p.m., Google might actually not show you or might show you lower. So if here's what my advice is, if you're in one of those areas and you will answer your phone anytime someone calls you, don't keep it 9 to 5. Change that to open 24 hours, okay? And so I'm actually going to do that for my business because I'll answer my cell phone anytime outside of 9 to 5. I want it to show up anytime. Okay. You could also, on this section, you saw I hit edit. You can change to if you have a temporary closure or something like that, or if you're closed 1 day a week. You can add more hours. These are going to be more applicable to like businesses with a physical location, like retail or restaurants or whatever. But you get the idea. Okay. So that's where you can edit your location and more. If you have trouble showing up, I'm gonna go back here. If you have trouble getting Google to show your location, or you even got an error when you submitted it, this is happening very commonly. In fact, somebody asked me about this morning at a meeting I was at. Um, you want to make sure you have consistent what's called NAP information, which just stands for name, address, and phone number, okay? So you want to have your address listed the same on your website, on local directories, networking websites, wherever you are, okay? You don't want to try to put in a PO box here. Google has cracked down a little bit very frequently, very recently on like UPS store mailboxes or mailboxes, etc. Okay, so if you don't really have a physical location, my advice is change it to no locations, home services only, and define a service area. Because if you have different, like if on your website you have your home address and then you try to get a Google location for your UPS store address or something like that, it's going to flag that as inconsistent information. It's not going to like it, and it might even give you, it might even put you in Google jail and not let you put on your listing at all. Okay. All right. In the interest of time, I'm going to move on. But here's what's really important. You want to, this is not a set it and forget it thing, okay? You need to regularly update your Google business profile. You need to add photos of your business, okay? Make sure you took them locally, so because Google will read the meta tags on your photos and know where they were taken if you use a cell phone. Don't use stock images. That'll help you with local search. And by the way, I think every business on this call is a local business. You sell locally, not internationally or nationally. Okay. Um, you want to put posts on here. You'll see I don't have any. This is why my Google business profile is not 100% complete. Okay. As frequently as you would post on Facebook or Instagram or any other social media site, you want to be posting on here. That's how Google knows that you are active and engaged and you have things to offer people. Okay. That's really, really important. Reviews are the other thing that I want to touch on here. I think we probably all are very familiar with the importance of Google reviews, okay? And how they assist you in search results and in social credibility. You may not know, though, on your Google business profile, there's a little link for asking for reviews. And when you share this QR code or this link, Google knows that that review is legitimate. So if you've ever like sent somebody just the regular Maps listing review link before, and then maybe even Google warned you like, hey, you got suspicious reviews or whatever, kicked back a review, this is why. You need to use this link from Google so it knows that when 15 people use this same link to post a review, it is in fact legitimate. Okay. So that's a little bit on your Google business profile. Hopefully, at least one thing I shared there with you was helpful for you. If it was, give me a thumbs up or drop a one in the chat and let me know. Those kind of things keep me motivated and let me know that we're doing things the right way here. Oh, I like that, Laura. Thanks for the little thumbs up emojis. That was kind of cool. All right, so that's your Google business profile. Again, 100% free. You should be taking care of that, and that's the number one thing that's going to help you locally with search. Okay. So here's your action item list. Number one, claim it. Number two, make sure it's accurate. Number three, update it a lot. And number three, respond to every review. Good, bad, neutral. It deserves a response. Make sure that response is not written by AI. It's written by you, and it's original, not copy and pasted for every single one of them. Oh, and the other thing too, you probably get if you have claimed your Google business profile, you are familiar with the fact that you will get emails from Google every now and then, and it'll say like, "Hey, Labor Day is coming up. What are your hours? Are they changing? Are you open?" Always, always, always click on that and answer it. Even if the answer is no change, click on it and tell Google that. That's how they know you're active. Okay. Number two, frequent updates, not just to your Google business profile, but to your website. This is how Google knows your website is actually active. Okay. It wants to see frequent updates on your website. And also, if you're somebody that adds new offers, has new seasonal products or seasonal specials, okay, Google wants to see that when its bots crawl your website, okay? And Google bots will actually crawl your website less frequently if you don't make regular updates. So it's really important to have regular new information on your website. This should be, in some sense, some of the stuff that you're posting regularly on your Google business profile. So when you put an update on your website, put it on your Google business profile and vice versa. Okay. How do you make sure, though, that you are consistent in adding frequent updates to your website without having to call a web developer and build a new web page constantly? Okay. The very best way to do this is to have a blog and post blog articles regularly. Okay. Google loves these. This has been best practice advice in the Google search world since Google took over search in the early 2000s. Okay. You want to have a blog, you want to post regularly. How regularly? Bi-weekly at a minimum. So every 2 weeks at a minimum, but preferably every single week. Now I know the question, but what do I post on a blog? Okay. And the answer to that question is you're going to put yourself in the shoes of your ideal customer, and you're going to think about the things that they care about and that they have questions about. Okay. And specifically, you're going to think, what might that person type into Google to find me? And every single one of those things that you put on your list, you're going to create an individual article about that. Okay. 500 words is probably the minimum. I talked to a guy actually just 2 days ago, and he was saying that they're seeing best practice advice be closer to 800 words now. Nobody knows. Google keeps things a secret, but somewhere between 500 and 800 words. Okay. We don't have to write the next novel here. Okay. But you're going to write an article, 500 to 800 words, on all of those things that you can get on your list. And you probably already, once I said that, already started a list in your mind. Maybe you're even writing it down now, okay? You are an expert in your business. Lean into that. If you're unsure, or if you can only come up with like 10 or 12, and you're like, well, that's not 52, that's not a whole year's worth, use ChatGPT. Ask it, I'm a salon hairdresser. Give me a list of 50 topics that my customers would probably care about. You can tell it a little bit about your customers, and it will help you. Okay. Then the next big question is, okay, Ted, that's great. I got a topic. How do I come up with 500 to 800 words worth of stuff to write about? And the answer to that question is you're going to use AI. Specifically, you're going to use Gemini. Okay. Gemini is Google's own AI. And so for Google search, Google likes Google. There's nobody in the world Google likes more than Google. And they actually reward you when you use their products, okay? Now, I still don't recommend that you copy and paste directly from Gemini onto your blog, okay? I recommend that you use it as an outline and that you do some of your own authoring, not only to make sure that it's accurate and they didn't make a mistake, but to put it in your own voice, in your own terms, in words and language that your ideal customer is going to know and understand and like. You probably are familiar with AI writing and how it's becoming easier and easier to pick out. And there's like little things that AI does, like the M dashes, and it loves the like, it's not this, but it's really this, those kind of phrases. We call those contrasting compound phrases. But if you can eliminate those and put it into plain language, that's going to help you a lot. But let AI, specifically Gemini, do most of the work for you, okay? And you can use a very simple prompt like write me an article on your topic in the voice of, and you put your own information in there in my voice if it already knows you if you're using Gemini, or in the voice of Ted Yates, owner of Ted Yates Consulting in Tampa, Florida, and make it 600 to 800 words, okay? That's the prompt to use. It's pretty simple. Um, this is how you, as a busy small business owner, can create valuable weekly content in under 30 minutes a week. Okay. Number three, you got to have high quality content. Okay. And this is how Google knows you are an expert. You're not just out there putting useless information on your blog. Okay. Blogs, when done right, are high quality and they will prove that you are an expert. However, most of your competitors probably already have a blog. And if they don't, I just showed you how easy it is to make one. And so they can easily copy it too. Okay. And that's why my advice to my clients right now is that if you want to truly set yourself apart as an expert, you do that with a podcast. Okay. A podcast is like a blog on steroids. Okay. Very few businesses, think about all your competitors. How many of them have podcasts? Okay. Very, very few. So just having one alone sets you apart. It proves that you are elite and that you are an expert. Okay. If you have a podcast, people will automatically see you as an authority, and so will Google. Okay. Plus, beyond the search stuff, a podcast is personal. You're literally in somebody's ear or in somebody's car with your voice, okay? Plus, one day, very soon, it's already starting, we're not going to be searching for businesses on Google anymore. We're going to use AI. We're going to ask ChatGPT, or we're going to ask Claude from Anthropic or whatever. And AI can listen to a podcast, it can understand it, and it can recommend you and link to your podcast as the source for its information. Okay. And that's because AI acts a lot more human than Google's robot crawlers do. Okay. Now, when I say podcast, do not get overwhelmed because a podcast is simply a voice version of a blog. You can use the same blog article as a script for your podcast, okay? Here's the other reason why a podcast is so powerful for you getting found online, and that's because it directly helps you with the fourth factor I named, which is backlinks, okay? This is how Google knows you are legit, okay? And again, backlinks are simply links to your site from other sites. They're like online votes of confidence, okay? But not all backlinks are equal, okay? There are sketchy ones and there are powerful ones, okay? You want links to your website from other reputable, high quality websites. And if you're a local business, think local, okay? So Chamber of Commerce, if you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, you should have several links to your website on your chamber listing. Any local directories that you're on. Think about charities that you're involved with or you support, okay? Can you get them to link to your website as a supporter? That's powerful, okay? Networking groups, if you're a member of a networking group or a leads group, like a BNI or an NPI, okay? You want to make sure that your profile on their website links to your website, okay? You can link swap with business referral partners, okay, who serve a very similar target audience to you, but don't compete with you, right? You can share your links on each other's websites, and that's going to help both of you, okay? But if you have a podcast, here's what happens. You send that podcast out via RSS feed, and now you have backlinks to your site from Google, Amazon, Spotify, and YouTube. Okay, who's bigger than those guys? Okay, this is how you truly prove that you are an authority online. But now here's the question. Does it actually work? Okay. And I'm going to tell you a couple stories of this actually working. Okay. The first is of Susan Stewart. Susan Stewart is grandma in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay. And like a lot of grandmas, she wants to spend a whole bunch of time with her grandkids and she has hobbies. Okay. And her hobby is honey. Okay. She doesn't have bees. Okay. She gets honey from local beekeepers, bottles it, and then resells it. Okay. This is her website, localnashvillehoney.com. She does not sell on her website. Okay, you got to go physically drive to a place to buy her honey. Okay. And so, like a lot of people with side hustles or hobbies, okay, she's doing this thing and she's making a couple $100s a month doing this, right? It's just enough really to kind of like support the hobby and have some fun, okay? Well, a couple years ago, she started the Local Nashville Honey podcast. Okay, the episodes for the Local Nashville Honey podcast are about 3 to 4 minutes long. I mean, how long can you talk about honey? I mean, I don't know. It's sweet, it's delicious, comes from bees. I don't know what else you say, but she's got stuff to say about it, okay? She starts the Local Nashville Honey podcast. It's on Apple, Spotify, all the places I just mentioned. And suddenly, Susan Stewart's website, Local Nashville Honey, shoots to the top of the Google rankings. She is number one for Nashville Honey, number one on maps for Nashville Honey, and she goes from making a couple $100s a month selling honey at this little consignment shop to making $600 to $700 a week selling this honey. Okay, now she's got more than just a little bit of spending money for the grandkids. Okay, she's doing pretty good. Here's another one. If you Google pest control in Avon Park, which is a city right outside Orlando, the number one result that you're going to get is Hanes Pest Control. They have been consistently the number one result for pest control in Avon Park for almost a decade now. And the reason why is because the owner, Ryan Hanes, is the host of his own podcast called Bug Talk. Okay. Now, I don't know how many people are out there listening to podcasts about bugs. Most of us avoid that kind of thing. But here's the thing. You don't even have to actually have anybody listen to your podcast. We just need Google to know that you have this podcast, that you're a valuable local expert for what you do, and now Google will deliver you when people search for it. Okay, so his podcast, Bug Talk, sits on his website. He actually has someone in the office who speaks Spanish, so they're all translated into Spanish as well. And this, more than anything else, is what has kept Ryan Hanes, local business owner just like you, at the number one spot in Google for pest control in his city for almost a decade. So let me ask you a question. What would it mean for your business to be at the top of the Google rankings? What would it mean for you to rank above your top 2 or 3 biggest competitors? Okay? What would it mean for you to be considered the local authority on what it is that you do and who you do it for? For most business owners I know, it could mean several thousands of dollars per month. But Ted, here's the pushback. I don't have the time or the creativity or the skill to do that. To write a blog post every week, to turn that blog post into a podcast every week. I barely have time to run my business as it is. How am I going to do that? And some of you are going to let that hurdle stop you right there. A very wise friend of mine once said that when it comes to getting difficult things done in business, it's not how, it's who. So if you are interested in getting the kind of results that we've talked about today, having your own podcast, establishing yourself as a local authority, getting to the top of Google, would it be all right if I shared with you how I can help you do that? Is that cool? Okay. So I have now a done for you podcast service. What does that mean? Okay. You get a weekly blog article and podcast. Okay. And that podcast, by the way, is in your own voice. But Ted, I already told you I don't have time to record a podcast. You're not going to record a podcast. I'm going to take a sample of your voice and I'm going to use AI to create that podcast in your own voice. And I'll tell you right now, if you have a spouse or kids or a significant other and they listen to it, they are not going to be able to tell that it's not you recording every word of that podcast. It's mind blowing. Okay. What else do you get? You're going to get a 20-second ad for your business that lives in your podcast, and you can use that in other parts of your business. You're going to get a professionally created and edited jingle. And why is that important? Well, number one, every podcast starts with some music and ends with some music, so you need it for that. But number two, jingles are super important because they make people remember you, okay? If I say we are farmers, everybody thinks bump, 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 right? There's not even words in that jingle, and you remember it, okay? So you're going to get a professionally written jingle. And then we're going to do the work, my team and I, of putting it on your website and then setting up the RSS feed so you end up on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and YouTube. Okay? The cost for that done for you podcast service is $500 a month. Okay? And who does this work for? It works for literally any local business. Okay? It's perfect for the trades because think about how many trades businesses have podcasts, very few. Okay? But it works for any business, especially those with a lot of competition and high cost ads like real estate agents, attorneys, etc. Okay? But I didn't want to just do this webinar, teach you some stuff, and then pitch you this $500 a month offer, and that's it. Okay? I wanted to answer what I have come to find are the other big issues that happen, even if you have a podcast, okay, that will really make you successful, okay? So here those are. First of all, I'm going to give you personal guidance on how to make money with your podcast, okay? Beyond it helping you get found on Google, okay? These are going to things like how to use your podcast in sales, how to get people to listen to your podcast, okay? How to use it to get you other PR and opportunities. This can be, for many people, as valuable or more valuable than the Google search result aspect, okay? I'm going to help you go through your Google business profile. I'm going to analyze it for you. I'm going to help you update it, and I'm going to make sure that it is up to snuff so that that's not holding you back. Remember, that's your number one way to get found on Google. So you can have me and my expertise making sure it's right, okay? Number three, I'm going to review all those technical aspects of your website, all that SEO stuff, and make sure that you are good to go, okay? That there is not something there, even if it's rare, that might be holding your website back so that you don't have to pay somebody else to do that. You don't have to worry about it, okay? I'm going to show you how to turn and help you turn that 20-second ad I talked about into a YouTube ad, which, by the way, if you're unfamiliar, you can run a YouTube ad for a fraction of the cost of Google pay-per-click or Facebook ads, and they're way more effective. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that so you can make money that way too. Last but not least, well, not last actually, I'm going to do a full review of your website, and I'm going to give you personal guidance on the updates you should make and what you should do, because remember, getting people there is only part of the equation, okay? The rest of the equation is the conversions part, okay? Getting them to actually buy or take the next step, which is why I'm also going to add a call now button to your website that shows up and is there, because most people are going to show up on your website from a phone, from their iPhone or their Android phone. And so when it's time for them to take action, they need a big old button that they can mash and call you directly. I'm going to put that on your website for you so you don't have to worry about that. But Ted, what if I hate my website and I actually really wish I didn't have more people going there because it's kind of embarrassing? Well, I'm going to do something nobody else is going to do. I'm going to give you a whole new website if that's the case, okay? If you have a website that's either incompatible with blogging or podcasting, or you hate your website and you want it redone, or you paid money to somebody and they have control over your website so you couldn't even do these things if you wanted to, we're going to either get control of it for you or I'm going to build you a new website. Okay. Now, this one, there may be some domain and hosting costs for that, but they'll be very inexpensive and we won't charge you anything to actually build the new website with the podcast on it. Okay. One more thing. Instead of $500 per month, because you came to this webinar today, it's only $400 a month. Okay. And there are no contracts, there's no commitments. You can cancel this service anytime. Okay. So if you are seriously interested in this, okay, you don't have the time, you don't have the skill or creativity, but you really want to be at the top of Google, you'd really like to be the expert authority on what it is that you do in your market, the way that only a podcast can help you do, here's the next step. Okay. I'm not going to ask you to pay me any money or anything like that today. I'm simply going to ask you to scan this QR code, or I'll drop it in the chat here in a second, a link, and you can schedule a 15-minute call with me. We'll use that 15 minutes to look at your website currently, and we'll make a personal action plan, whether that includes the blog and podcast service or not, to help you get found on Google. Okay. So if that's you, if you're interested, you can scan that QR code. There's no commitment. Okay. There's no obligation. You don't have to sign up for anything. Okay. But if you are interested, this is the way that you lock in this price and that you lock in those bonuses that I just talked about. Okay. Is schedule this 15-minute call with me and we'll talk about it. Okay. I think, well, first of all, let me stop sharing my screen and I will drop into the chat that link that I promised I would drop in there. And in the meantime, if you have a question, you can either type that into the chat or you can use the raise hand feature if you're familiar where that is on Zoom. And I will take some questions on anything that we talked about today. Oh, there's already one in the chat. Okay. Barrett, if you use Google reviews and get multiple in a day, will it not kick them out? Not typically. Sometimes it will. If you use, I mean, you got to think about it, right? There's all kinds of businesses on Google, right? There's businesses that are just online businesses. There's businesses that are high volume. I mean, Walmart is on Google. Think about how many people walk in and out of a Walmart in a day, right? And so if Google were to set some kind of rule like, hey, you can't have more than 5 a day, right? It cause a lot of problems with a lot of these bigger businesses. So not that I'm aware of, there's no rule about multiple reviews in a day. Multiple reviews from the same person or the same IP address, which is like how Google knows what computer you're on online, that can cause a problem. And in fact, many of you know that I have a background in hotels and resorts. We would have people post Google reviews from our business center a lot of times in the hotel, and Google would flag that. They would not like that. And so we would actually have to tell people like, hey, we appreciate the review. Don't do it on our business center anymore. Do it on your phone or wait till you get home or whatever. Because yeah, Google would flag that because they all came from the same spot and it looks pretty fishy to Google. I can't blame them for that. So, all right. Does anybody else have any questions? Is there anybody else just like looking for the raise hand feature and can't figure out where it is? All right. Well, with that, I'm going to say thank you guys for, oh, thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. I'm glad you came today. And that means a lot coming from you because Laura Shipman is an expert in podcasts, by the way. She's been doing that for a long time. So thank you guys for showing up today. I hope you learned something and hopefully we'll chat soon and we'll get everybody on here, with some expert local authority podcasts that make you a lot of money. Take care. Bye.